know what the best artificial snook fishing lure is? Well, obviously that's highly debatable and it's opinion based. But down here in Florida, we have what they call the Flair hawk. Now the Flair hawk is super effective along the beaches and the bridges. And my guess is because when it's in the water, it looks or it resembles mullet in a lot of instances. Not only that, you can get them in an assortment of different weights, so they cast very far. They usually are made with some type of mustad hook, so super sharp, strong, and large mustad hook. But like I said, this is a big profile bait. When it's in the water, it's almost, what, 8-9 inches long, and it really just resembles the perfect size finger mullet. But let's jump in. I'm going to tell you a few things I like about it and how the most effective ways to use them when you're either in the surf or on a jetty or on a bridge. So like I briefly mentioned before, some of the things I like this, how it has the synthetic material here. You get some pretty cool action, especially when you pause it abruptly, and I think that's where you get the name the Flair hawk. This thing kind of flares up a little bit, or when you allow it to go down into the water column, you'll get a different movement as well. I like that it has a very strong mustad, super sharp hook, and that everything is hand tied and hand painted on the head here. So nice craftsmanship. This jig has been proven for many years. The old timers have been using this even back in the day. So it's already something that has shown to work and be super effective on big snook. And again, I imagine it's because it has that big profile like the mullet. Now, a couple of the things I don't like. Sometimes I notice that I don't get enough movement out of the Flair hawk. So what I'll do is, to remedy that, I'll go ahead and add a trailer, maybe a big Z-Man, big paddle tail or something like that, if I just want more movement to get a better reaction strike. So that's one of the downsides, is you will get movement with this, but sometimes it's just not enough, and you got to add that trailer, which makes it a little bit bulkier of a bait, sometimes not as aerodynamic, so you can't get as long a cast. The other thing is that even though it's hand painted, sometimes it starts to chip after a few run-ins with the water or a hard substance, which I guess that's pretty typical. So, and of course a few fish will also, once you catch a few fish, you'll start to see that paint gets beat up. But for the most part, the only other downside is after a few fish, you'll start to notice that you're losing some feathers and the material starts to get cut up quite a bit. And this thing will start to look pretty dang bare. So I guess it's not a terrible thing. It tells you, hey, I'm catching fish, but it is one of the small downsides to this particular jig. Let's jump in and talk about some of the retrieval methods that are most common or most popular and that are most effective for me. So when bridge fishing, the primary way that I like to use this Flair hawk is to fish shadow lines. At every bridge, night or day, there's a shadow line. And running this particular bait along that shadow line, it resembles both a finger mullet that also swim the shadow line or a big old needlefish. So I'm going to demonstrate that up on here on the bridge to show you exactly how I would work that. Usually I'm going to cast it along the side of the bridge parallel, and I'm going to retrieve it just to where it's out of the shadow. Alright, so off the beach, I'm going to do a little different. In low light conditions, oftentimes I'll throw like a chartreuse with another dark contrasting color, such as blue. And then as that sunlight comes up, I like to go to a more natural color like a white and blue. And sometimes I'll even go and throw a pink in there just to see if, if they want something different. But like in this video here, a big fish. A little bit bigger. He hit it on the paws. Right when it sunk. That's cool. A little bit bigger. Or he just pulled harder.
Glad we're not doing a challenge.
Oh, you're good, man. Look at that. Not too shabby. Try not to get this reel soaking wet. Man. There. Thank you, sir. I'm showing you here that I'm looking for very choppy water or just water that's coming around in the trough of the inlet here. And where that water, what it does is it creates tide pools and it stirs things up, but it also gives the snook an opportunity to easily ambush their prey. So what I do is I usually don't work it too slow. I start with a fairly fast retrieve. I cast it out, let it sink, and then I do a faster steady retrieve, and oftentimes that'll trigger the strike. It's kind of like that cat and mouse game. If you notice, the cat, typically when it sees something starting to get away, you start to pull a little faster, then it pounces. So the fish are very similar in that instance. As that bait starts to get a little faster, it entices that strike a lot of times. Now sometimes that ain't always the case, so you may want to slow roll it, slow it down, try different retrieves until you finally do get that strike. And oftentimes it'll be a big one. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What do you think about the red-tailed hawk? Let me know below. Don't be shy. What's your favorite snook lure? Share with us. This is definitely by far one of my favorite lures, the jig. So I hope you guys enjoyed this content. Please give a thumbs up. I hope you're enjoying the content that you've been seeing lately. I'm trying to put out some new stuff for you, give you a variation of both freshwater and saltwater. Hey, hit that thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Got a lot more to come. Until next time, I'll see you on the water.